Alright people, welcome back. ZabFm 106.6 is the channel. My name is Hamad. I'm not on a solo flight today. The flight number of course is 106.6 like I just said. I've got a co-pilot. In fact, the pilot of the show today is Mr. Qazi, Fazli, Azeem. One of those people who are experts here in Pakistan. One of the only people I think, or the few people I would say, experts at autism disorder and of course a lot of other things including ADHD, dyslexia and other things. Now sir, I've heard that you've been speaking, you've been on the lecture circuit for many places, you've been at the UN World Autism Awareness Day as well, and what do you think of the overall, like in the last thing you were talking about awareness in Pakistan, do you think that awareness is actually working in our country? Do you think parents actually come up with their kids and talk about autism at all?
Yes. As far as the, coming up and talking, there's something called a social taboo in all, I guess, Middle Eastern or perhaps South Asian society, even our neighboring countries. It's a social taboo to actually accept that, something is maybe not right with your child and come forward, and do something different or change something because they're saying, what will people say or what's going to happen in the future. And I think that is slowly reducing because of the media. There's so many movies coming out, so many good TV channels. You see awareness, you see people, good people, role model kind of people, writing articles and talking about their experiences and sharing, and a lot of good things are out there now that people have just broken the cycle. They've decided to step forward and make a difference and help children and help families. In a country like Pakistan, you see, it's all about the education. If the parents are educated, if they have a doctor who is educated, if there is generally an educated family, they will eventually find out about it if their child has some symptoms. But if they're not educated, they might wait till like the child is maybe 10 years old, 12 years old, and by that time it's not, you can't really do much. My point is the human brain develops between the age of 4 and between the age of 8. It's really growing fast. So if you identify these issues of learning disability at a young age, it's called early intervention, and then you can actually do something very fast about it, and the child would respond in an amazing way. But if you wait till the child is like 14, 15 years old or very old age, it'll take like 10 years of hard work. Imagine comparing 1 year of intensive education as compared to an older child who would require 10 years of intensive education. Now, and we don't have those kind of resources.
The point is that there's a lot of kids out there who are being brought up by nannies and all those.
Yes.
Now, what's the most apparent of all symptoms that a parent can actually catch on that the kid has got this disorder?
Well, if somebody can afford a nanny, I'm sure they can afford probably a doctor, and they are educated perhaps. But as far as symptoms go, regarding two kinds of cases, are you referring to the lower or the younger type of autism, the young children who are non-verbal, or the extremely higher functioning Asperger's syndrome? What are you referring to?
I think we'll go about both of the cases, starting with the lower case first.
In the case with the conventional or the stereotypical case of autism, you see the child is born fine. There's a regular milestone, but around the age of 2 or 2.5, the child gets a fever and you have epileptic seizures and some kind of bukhar they have in the brain. And then what happens is the child starts to lose the speech. The speech goes away, the memory goes away. The child, is obsessed with certain routines. The child has lack of eye contact. Echolalia, that means the child is just going to repeat whatever you're going to say it and not make sense of what you're saying. And the child also has some kind of special foods that he eats. He doesn't eat everything else. He doesn't like the daily changes that happen. The child might become very sensitive to sounds, to lights. Touching maybe metallic things. The child doesn't like feeling certain kind of objects touching their skin, and the child becomes very hyperactive perhaps, or the opposite, not hyperactive at all, very lethargic, or the child has lack of eye contact. He doesn't make eye contact when conversing with people. So these are all cases and indication that a child might have something of an autistic spectrum disorder. And obviously there's a lot of good work happening now. If you go to a good hospital, there's a lot of good clinics across the country. Just go to any pediatrician. They have the basic awareness of autism. Recently, a family that I've been working with in the last few years, Dr. Maroof and his wife Rui Maroof, they basically have, with the help of the city government, they've set up a Center for Autism at Gulshan Iqbal, and it's helped by the city government. They basically go to the National Institute of Child Health and other places, and they train the doctors, and they have a mother-child training program, and a lot of awareness is happening not only for those people who basically are of the English medium, but also of the Urdu medium, the people who do not have access to the education and who are perhaps a lower income. So a lot of good work is happening there also. And just the awareness is important, that you must identify these things when the child is young. It's called early intervention.
All right. So I think early intervention does make a difference, and at an early age, if it's got the child grows up to be a normal person, if not completely normal,
very close,
normal.
very close.
And I think it is one of those things that parents really need to watch out and need to take care of it. So you are trying to say we've got doctors here, including Mr. Maruf and Mrs. Maruf, who are taking care of this the specific
awareness.
Yeah, the awareness.
Yes.
Including yourself, Mr. Qazi Fazli Azeem is around, and he's always there at the lecture circuit. Talking a bit more about him, we're going to talk some bit when we come back from this song break. It's going to be a song by, okay, let me check. I've listed it, but it's kind of slipped. I hope I don't have some disorder right now. Anyways, this track is going to be by Guns N' Roses, and this is November Rain. We are going to play this and come back and talk some bit more about Mr. Fazli Azeem Qazi, and of course of the other things that he's a part of. Apart from being a very good lecturer about these diseases and these disorders, he is a part of something which I'm going to disclose right after this. Meanwhile, the question of the day is, how long can a chicken fly? If you answer that correctly, you win yourself the Zab Sports Society football match, which is going to go, the proceedings are going to go to charity. So make sure you're part of a good cause. Write ZabFM, give a little space, and send it to 1313.